channel. If you're new to my channel, I'm just a girl who likes reading romance, fantasy romance, paranormal romance, any kind of genre of romance in general. And I also happen to have cerebral palsy, and it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to my channel. Happy Friday! I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Today's video is going to be my November mid-month wrap-up. I'm going to talk about all the books I read in the first half of November, from the 1st to the 14th. I did a recent reads video recently, so the first 6 books I'm gonna go by really quickly because I did a video on them. The Prince of Prohibition. It is a historical romance fantasy genre, and it's about Fae, and I give that book 5 stars. Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. It's a second chance romance. The guy is a billionaire and the woman, Delilah, is from a famous decorating TV show. And I gave that book 5 stars. Where We Started. It's an MC small town romance by Ashley Munoz. I gave that book 4 stars. If you like Devony Perry's Steel King series, I think you will like Where We Started. Unsteady. It's a college romance hockey with a lot of good mental health representation. I gave that book 4 stars. Hoarded by the Dragon by Lillian Lark. It's a dragon romance, shifter romance, and the heroine, who's a witch, she gets pregnant. I gave that book 5 stars. When Fate Breaks. It's another second chance romance. I give that book 4 stars. Next, I will start in the month of November. I binged a lot of series. The first series I binged is called The Lost Boy series by Jesse Walker. It's an romance. It's angsty. There's music involved. The first book, Where There's a Will, it's about Will and Waylon. Will and Waylon were best friends throughout childhood, but one day Will kisses Waylon, and then he embarrasses Will in front of the whole school. So Will leaves town for a really long time, but he only comes back to town because something happens in the present that he needs to get away from it all, and he sees Mark, one of Waylon's friends who he knew way back when, and Mark gives him a job at his car repair shop, and Will and Waylon see each other again. They are pulled into this toxic relationship, like they like each other, but Waylon keeps pushing Will away, keeps telling Will that he isn't gay, that he doesn't like guys, and it's their push and pull relationship, and I loved it. Will and Waylon are both really broken people, and you'll see that they both have the demons that they need to break free from. The first book is called Where There's a Will. I give that book 5 stars. The second book, If There's a Way, I also gave that book 5 stars. And then they have a novella, and it's called Still Beating, and I give the novella 4 stars. Then I binged the Guild trilogy by Raven Kennedy. I started the first book in this series, and then I put the series down. But then Jess from Honest Fiction and Hannah from Hannah Blackwell keep talking about the Guild series. So I decided to pick it back up. And I binged the whole series, and I cannot wait for Gold to come out later in December. Yeah. If you don't know what Guild is about, we follow Oren, who is gold touched by Midas, and Midas is kind of keeping Oren in a gilded cage, and we follow Oren through her journey of self-discovery and finding her voice again, and we find out who really is Golden Touch, and she finds a romance, and her romance is not with Midas, by the way. It's a King of Midas retelling. So the first book, Guild, I give that book 4 stars. The second book is called Glint. I give that book 4 stars also. The third book is called Gleam. I gave that book 5 stars. You don't get to see the love interest until book 3, but I'm telling you, it's worth it. And then I read Glow. I give that book 4 stars. Before the Sunset by Laura Pavlov. I needed to read Before the Sunset because that's book 4 in the series. Book 5 and the last book in the Cottonwood Cove series is coming out on the 16th, so I had to read this book before I read the final book in the series. But we follow Finn, who's an up-and-coming actor, and he got his reputation kind of in trouble. So his manager says, do not do anything to make your reputation worse. So he gets into a fake relationship with his childhood best friend, Reese. Reese agrees to this because she wants to make her ex-boyfriend jealous, so it's a fake dating romance. And I give this book 4 stars. I thought Reese was hung up on her ex-boyfriend way too long. Next, I read the Alliance series by S.J. Tilley. It's a mafia romance series, and the first person I saw talk about this series was Victoria from Victoria Reads Romance. The first book in this series is called Nero, and it's a stalker romance. The heroine, Peyton, she ran away from her parents when she was 17 because they are very abusive towards her, and then jump in the present day where she's 26, and all of a sudden she meets Nero, who's part of a mafia group called the Alliance, and Nero starts stalking her, but Peyton likes when Nero stalks her, and I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. King, I think her name's Savannah, or and she goes to her best friend's house for a housewarming party, and she finds out the guy she was seeing was married to this woman and she didn't know. So she breaks up with the guy. But then she left her stuff in the guy's apartment. So she goes to collect her stuff, witnessing this man killing the ex-boyfriend. And the man who killed her ex-boyfriend is called, his name is King. He is the woman, his sister is the woman the man cheated on. So Nero forces the heroine to marry him so she doesn't say anything, and that's their romance, and I gave this 4 stars. I read Dom, which we follow Val, and she meets Dominic at an airplane, and they get to talking. Steamy stuff happens with them, and she gives him his number. They text for a while. Dom finds out that Val is going to Vegas with her friends, and he goes to Vegas as well, and they end up getting married. And Val finds out that Dom is the Chicago mafia boss, and he wants to be part of the alliance. And Dom tattoos his name on Val's ring finger, and he gets a tattoo of her name across his chest and down where you cannot see. Her name down there where you cannot see it. And I thought this was wild. I give this 5 stars. Next, I binged another Mafia series, and I binged the series because of Jen from the book Refuge. And the first book is called When She Unravels, and we follow Valentina, who is in a terrible marriage. She's a mafia daughter, and her husband Razalo tortures people, but he makes her kill the people he tortures. Like, she gives him no choice that if you don't kill these people, I will hurt your younger sisters and your family. So, but Lazaro comes home with a teenager, and she's like, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. That's a line I will not cross. So she helps the teenager escape, and she escapes Lazaro. She goes to Ibiza, and she gets a job at this nightclub, and begging the nightclub owner to hire her. And the nightclub owner does not want to hire her because he finds her attractive. But she's like, give me a week, I'll prove to you that no matter what you throw at me, I will not quit. But when the kicker is, she flees New York to escape the mafia life, only to discover that the nightclub owner, Damio, is part of the mafia, and it's their romance. And I really loved this. I gave it 4 stars, and I listened to the audiobook, and the narrators did a good job with the Russian accent. The second book in the series is an age gap romance like Hoarded, and we follow Damio's sister, Martina, and her bodyguard of sorts. I can't remember his name. And I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. Martina needs to go away from Damio because he's trying to overthrow his uncle and become the dom of this territory. And Damio doesn't want Martina to get caught in their crosshairs, so he leaves Martina to a bodyguard, and it's Martina's romance with her bodyguard. The third book is called When She Falls, and we follow Gemma, who's the Val's sister, Val from the first book, and Raz, Damio's second in command. Gemma is engaged to be married to a mafia boss from New York, but something happens where Raz has to look after her in New York, and Raz and Gemma start developing feelings for each other, but they can't have a relationship because she's engaged to this mafia boss. They can't deny their feelings for each other. And I loved it. I gave that book 5 stars. Spotlight. It's a rock star romance. We follow Conway, who is the lead singer in this famous rock band, and Sienna, and they meet because Conway thinks Sienna is a groupie, and he propositions her, and she slaps Conway in the face, only to find out that Sienna is Conway's sister's best friend, and that's how they meet, and they don't see each other again. But Sienna gets a job as a model because she needs the money for her home reasons, and she meets Conway again. They develop this friendship, but they want more, but Conway doesn't do relationships. Sienna doesn't do flings, but eventually they can't deny their feelings for each other. But Conway is in the spotlight because he's famous, and Sienna just wants to live her regular life, and it's their romance, and I gave it 4 stars. Those are all the books that I read for the first half of November. Please let me know if you read any of these books. I would love to know. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. That would mean the world to me. And I'll see ya Monday. Bye.